growing up, I was around people who love Jesus, and I just saw, oh, Jesus is so good, clearly. I was very content, I was very happy. I would say my life was pretty good. Of course, I lived overseas, so there were moments where I felt really insecure because I was different from my peers. I had lived across the world, and I know a lot of us have had moments where we just feel different in some way. And so I felt a deep loneliness a lot of times, which was, I don't think I acknowledged it for a long time because I was like, oh, I have a great family, but I definitely felt lonely. And it wasn't until 7th grade where I actually read my Bible on my own and just started talking to God as I read it was a conversation. And that was really when the relationship started. So for me, I was pretty invested in I was all the way, Jesus, I was take me where you want to take me. I will do anything for you, which was a lot easier when life was easy. COVID hit and there was a lot of loneliness there because we're isolated. And, my family was together, so it was fine. But my parents were both locked in their room for a bit, just quarantining from us. And so I did not see them. And it was a moment of whoa, I feel so alone. My sister and I kind of stepped up in the house, did the laundry. People still supported us and helped us get meals and stuff, but it was definitely hard to be 14 and feel you have to run the house in a way. I remember thinking, okay, if I can just make it to New Year's, it'll be fine. It'll be New Year's. I can get 2020 out of my system. Let's restart. And so I go to bed New Year's Eve, and then I wake up in the morning. I was hearing all these things, and people are talking about meal train and stuff, or what do you like to eat? And I was like, what is going on? And my mom and dad's bedroom door was open. I was like, they're not supposed to be out of their room. I walked downstairs and my mom was vacuuming, and she was I was like, where's dad? And she was like, we had to take him to the hospital in the middle of the night. I just remember feeling so much pain in a moment. My whole soul was dying inside, it felt but I couldn't do anything about it. And so I just remember I went back up to my room and I was just shaking, pain, deep pain I had never experienced before, where I was just crying out my soul, and I was just why is this happening? At that point, he was still conscious, so he could text us and stuff, but every day it's this feeling of is my dad gonna be okay? Is there gonna be another phone call that his oxygen levels have dropped? What's gonna happen to him? I just remember feeling so alone because everyone's feeling so much pain. And for me, I was I don't wanna feel pain. I don't wanna feel pain. I wanna be strong. But that's not something you can ignore. I remember the last text I texted him, we were in the car, and I was oh, I miss you. And he was I'm saving up that hug for you, which eventually I never got, which was really hard. But I feel in that season, it was a lot. For me, especially where I was at in my faith, I was God, I know you can heal him. I know you have the power to heal him, but I know you also have a plan that's bigger than mine, and it may not go that way. And so it's this tension of hope, but it's I don't know if my hope is he's gonna be healed or I'm gonna see him again in heaven. Eventually he passed away in February, which for a long time there was a lot of anger, a lot of confusion. There's still little moments I'll see something, smell something, whatever, and I just have a memory of him and he's not there. And it's just this grief that never goes away, which is exhausting. But I think the Lord has been really teaching me through that season, no, give it all to me, Lauren. I've got you. Give it all to me. You're not gonna fall. I have a safety net for you, And as he's done that, as I've been able to bring all the anger, all the sadness, all the pain, and even the moments where I feel nothing to him, he's been so gentle to wrap me in his arms and his care, which has brought healing and has inspired me deeply because I know people don't have that. After experiencing such a season of pain, and so many nights of tears, but also all those moments where I was crying out to God, and he was there. I could not have gotten through those seasons. I couldn't even get through seasons beyond that because there were seasons after that where I felt so much pain or so much, just actually lack of feeling that I was like, what is life? But God reminded me he has come to give us like fulfillment to like the fullest. And so for me, as I thought of that, it's like, it became something of like, I can't keep this to myself. Like what? And so starting crew at my high school was really kind of where I was inspired to like reach students in that way. Which was totally out of my comfort zone. Even feeling weak in grief, I was like, okay, God, your grace is sufficient. May this be true, because I just feel like a wreck. Like some days I just feel like I want to cry. I don't want to lead this meeting or help out in this way. But that season really reminded me that God is a comforter and God is a father. And it made me realize like the students at my school, they are made in the image of God. Like God sees them and wants to see them and make them feel known the same way he made me feel so known and seen. And so starting crew at my high school was just the kind of like, okay, God moment, because I felt led to, I felt called to. Not all the time. Sometimes I was like, I don't want to do this. This is annoying and hard. It takes up a lot of time. But it's so worth it, because you realize that your school is a ministry field. Like your school is a place with people just like you, like the popular ones, the unpopular ones. Like it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're all people made in the image of God. Breaking that kind of social reputation, I guess, for me was something I really wanted to do through crew. And I wanted to create a space where all students, all grades can come together and learn about Jesus, because Jesus is for all people and all nations.